What's your name?
My name is Corey Campbell.
Okay, nice to meet you. So I want to ask you, who would you say is the best president in your lifetime, or rather, who would you say has the least controversial record as president in your lifetime?
Okay, so in my lifetime, I would say Obasanjo, Obasanjo OBJ has been like the best, or so far has the least controversial, record.
Interesting. And why is that?
Because during his time, I was little then. During when he ruled and all, but as I grew up, I heard about some things he did, made some research and all. So I think he did. There was this Operation Feed the Nation during his time. Then declaring of debts, Nigeria's debts and everything, and economic growth during his time. So I feel those are some good pointers to his rule.
You're absolutely right on the latter point that he cleared our debts, and there was actually an incredible growth of the middle class under his administration. But some people would argue with you that Obasanjo championed godfatherism in Nigeria. That Obasanjo, under his watch, there was high rate of electoral malpractice, rigging, ballot box snatching, and all of that. So, don't you think that kind of smears his record?
Yes, it does to an extent. Like I said, not all of them were perfect, or like they were not all perfect during their period, during their time frame. But if you look at the other elections too, other like the last one we just had, there was rigging too and everything. So I feel like he just had an advantage in the point that to the fact that he actually did a number of goods in Nigeria's economy.
Okay, so last one.
Okay.
Who do you think is a close second in terms of ranking? You said Obasanjo is the least controversial. So who would you say comes close to him? Also in your lifetime.
Also in my lifetime, I would say yar'adua. That's if we had actually seen his full potential late presidents. Yar'adua. If we had actually seen a lot of him, because he died and all.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. A lot of people hold Yar'adua in high esteem but I would argue that if he had lived long enough, perhaps he could have turned the typical villain we see our politicians as.
Actually, but we can't say.
Yeah, definitely.
We don't know.
Definitely.
They're all rubbish, but then I think
Jonathan. Interesting. Why?
I don't know. During Jonathan's time, things were cheaper. And I think during this time, Nigeria was we had the largest economy in the whole of Africa, during his regime. So compared to how things are now, I think Jonathan's time was still the best.
Okay, so the thing is, the more you go back in time, the more you'd realize that things were cheaper. Under Obasanjo's time, things were cheaper than they were under Jonathan, right? So the point is, why exactly Jonathan? And more so, remember that Nigerians overwhelmingly voted Jonathan out in 2015. So if his records were a bit okay, why would they vote him out in 2015?
I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, I think as far as we have a government, we have a president, there's something we don't know about it, that there's always someone above that president that is controlling the best person. You get what I'm trying to say?
Okay, so that's the cabal Jonathan mentioned when he was president.
So I think he wanted to do good, but then there were some people above him. Even as he was the president, there were some people above him that were giving him orders and stuff like that. I won't say that's the case, but I think that's what it is.
Interesting. So who would you rank as a close second to Jonathan in terms of president with the least controversial record in your lifetime?
Obasanjo.
Interesting. Why is that?
I don't know. I naturally just liked him. I just liked him. During his time, I just liked him.
What's your name?
Ajoke.
Okay, all right. So I want to ask you, who do you think is the best president in your lifetime, or rather the least controversial president in your lifetime?
Okay, I'll say least president Musa Yar'adua.
Okay, why is that?
I just felt during this period there was no like scarcity, all these things were expressing now, like all this food scarcity, food and everything. Everything was okay. Fare was nice too.
Okay, what if you had lived long enough, maybe all those problems would also be obtainable under his presidency? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think so actually.
Okay, then who would you regard as a close second to him?
Okay, I would say President Jonathan.
Why is that?
Yeah, I think he also tried his best actually. Tried.
But if he tried his best, why did Nigerians vote him out in 2015?
They wanted a better person, but they went to carry the one that is even worst.
Okay. How about in all of Nigerian history, who do you think is the best president?
Okay. Oh, I was not born then, though. But from the news I heard, I think when President Nnamdi Azikiwe was the first president then.
Yeah, but his role is more or less a ceremonial role.
Okay.
So he wasn't really given any actual duties. Just like the vice president we have today, that kind of thing. So,
My name is Caleb Adresola.
all right, Caleb, I want to ask you, who do you regard as the best president in your lifetime?
The best president in my lifetime in Nigeria.
Yeah.
All right, I will go for yar'adua
Why is that?
because during the tenure of yar'adua, petrol went from I think 85 naira to 65 naira. I'm not sure. It's not accurate, but I know the price of petrol reduced. There was economic boom. There was oil boom, obviously, and he had a 7-point agenda.
Yeah, that's true.
Country, but he was not like fully capable, like in terms of his health, to complete it.
Yes, but what do you say to the idea that if he had lived long enough, he would have ended up a villain, just the same way we see other presidents that came before him and even after him?
I would disagree because during his tenure, he even like showed his properties. I forgot what they call it property.
He declared his property, his assets actually. Yeah.
Declared all his assets. He was a truthful man, but the only thing he was not truthful about was his health. So I think that's the only thing that could have made him a villain. But in terms of like management, economic management, even of the total country, everywhere was peaceful during his tenure.
True. Okay, who would you regard as a close second to him?
Close second, well, to be Murtala Mohammed. Although he's not a president, he was an head of state. Murtala Mohammed, and another name to be mentioned is Tafawa Balewa, the voice of Africa. He was a very eloquent man, and he was a true leader of this country.
Hi, my name is Blinks of Lagos.
Okay, so I want to ask you, who do you think is the least controversial president in your lifetime, or rather, who you would describe as the best president in your lifetime?
Wow, that's a tough one. I'm a young boy, but I think the least controversial I'll say was Mr. Yar'adua.
Okay.
Yeah, because there were not a lot of charges on him, but it just seemed like a soft regime, and he didn't stay long, may so rest in peace. But yeah, that would be like my least controversial.
You know what? A lot of Nigerians actually hold him in high esteem, but one could also argue that he didn't live long enough to become a villain. Perhaps if he had lived long enough, he could have ended up in the same way we see other presidents. What do you think about that?
I mean, honestly, you're right. Yes, that's my stand. I feel if he had lived longer, he would have done a lot, because we saw the triumph of the rule of law and we saw what he did, what he wanted to do. But unfortunately, what happened. So yeah, but if he had lived longer, I'm sure he would have been actually one of the best in my books.
Okay, so who would you then rank as a close second to him?
Close second, honestly, I would have given it to current President Buhari.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would have honestly, because his first tenure, I liked it. I saw some, the change. He came with the vibes, the change, the everything. But second tenure, not what I wanted. So at the moment, nobody my second. Nah, nobody my second. So, yeah.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.